All right, guys, so I want to talk about a bombshell interview featuring big tech CEO, Facebook CEO, Mark Zuckerberg, in which he admitted the quiet part out loud about what we all know that's going on in regards to the relationship between big tech and the FBI, aka the government. He admitted that Facebook and the FBI colluded in order to censor the Hunter Biden story before the 2020 election, because the FBI believed that the Hunter Biden story was Russian disinformation. And I want you guys to take a look at this clip, and I want to give my opinions on it because nobody should be surprised to hear this. But before I get into that, I just want to let you guys know, if you like my channel, you'll support my channel, you can check out my new merch, my donkeypox shirts, the disease that's affected America, or my hashtag no days off / hard work patriotic t-shirts, or you can check out my MAGA hub shirt, right? I have new merch that I'm excited about. If you guys want to check it out, it's at gforemanbcp.com. Get 20% off using discount code gforemanbcp. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll the clip.
How do you guys handle things when they're a big news item that's controversial? Like, there was a lot of attention on Twitter during the election because of the Hunter Biden laptop story. The New York
we
Post.
had that too.
Yeah, so you guys censored that as well?
So we took a different path than Twitter. Basically the background here is the FBI, I think, basically came to us, some folks on our team, and was like, hey, just so you know, like, you should be on high alert. We thought that there was a lot of Russian propaganda in the 2016 election. We have it on notice that basically there's about to be some kind of dump of that's similar to that. So just be vigilant. So our protocol is different from Twitter's. What Twitter did is they said you can't share this at all. We didn't do that. What we do is we have if something is reported to us as potentially misinformation, important misinformation, we also have this third-party fact-checking program because we don't want to be deciding what's true and false. And for I think it was 5 or 7 days when it was basically being determined whether it was false, the distribution on Facebook was decreased, but people were still allowed to share it. So you could still share it, you could still consume it.
So when you say the distribution is decreased,
it got shared.
How does that work?
It basically, the ranking in newsfeed was a little bit less. So fewer people saw it than would have otherwise. So it definitely...
By what percentage?
I don't know off the top of my head, but it's meaningful. But basically, a lot of people were still able to share it. We got a lot of complaints that was the case. Obviously this is a hyper-political issue, so depending on what side of the political spectrum, you either think we didn't censor it enough or censored it way too much. But we weren't sort of as black and white about it as Twitter. We just kind of thought, hey, look, if the FBI, which I still view as a legitimate institution in this country, it's like very professional law enforcement, they come to us and tell us that we need to be on guard about something, then I want to take that seriously.
Did they specifically say you need to be on guard about that story?
No, I don't remember if it was that specifically, but it basically fit the pattern.
Yeah, so there you have it. Mark Zuckerberg essentially admitting that big tech and the government essentially colluded before the 2020 election to censor a story that could have affected the outcome of the election. Now, before I get into the whole did it affect the outcome of the election thing, I want to rewind here and kind of go through some of the things that Mark Zuckerberg said in his interview, because there's a whole lot to break down here. First and foremost, when asked about Facebook's role in censoring the Hunter Biden story, Mark Zuckerberg says, we didn't censor it like Twitter, right? We didn't ban it, right? We didn't stop people from posting the story. We just shadow banned it, right? We shadow banned it. That's what he said without actually saying it. Something that they say doesn't exist, right? When people say that they're shadow banned, what happens is that people can see your profile. They can see you. It's just they can't see the things that you post. So basically what he's saying is that, when people post it and share the Hunter Biden story for a specified period of time, we basically deranked it in the algorithm. So somebody might post it, but fewer people in their news feed might see it, right? Which again is shadow banning, right? So you censor it. You censor the story. Don't try to soften it up and try to act like, well, we didn't go as far as Twitter, right? No, you censored the story on behalf of the government. You were working for the government. And this is what I'm talking about when we talk about how what big tech is doing, right? Is an attack on free speech, is an attack on the First Amendment. Because people on the left, right, they'll say, well, these are private corporations. They can do whatever they want. Yeah, but they no longer become private corporations anymore. They're not acting as private corporations anymore. When, first of all, they're protected under Section 230, right? Which big tech is actively exploiting because they are a platform and they're getting the protections of a platform, which honestly really is a longer word, is a longer actual term there that is supposed to be for platform. But we're going to say platform for short here. Anyways, they get the protections of a platform while also they're trying to act as a publisher. Even though, again, they should not be punished. They can't be punished as publishers under Section 230, so they don't need to do that. However, they're trying to have it both ways, okay? Not only that, you have the government, mainly the Democrat Party, actively pushing these platforms to censor information that they don't like, okay? AKA, again, information that the Democrat Party disagrees with. It is 100% one-sided. And big tech colluding with the government, the Democrats, to censor information that Democrats don't like makes them an arm of the government, specifically an arm of the Democrat Party. And this is why the whole, oh, well, these companies are just private companies. They can do what they want. That argument is bunk. It's bunk because a private company, okay, a private entity like Facebook should be acting solely based off the profit motive, right? If a company like Facebook was operating based off the private motive, with no government interference, they would have let the Hunter Biden story run. Why is that? Because that was a hot story. And the main goal of these platforms is to make money, right? And when your main goal is to make money, you're going to let people post whatever they want to post that's going to get eyeballs on the screen. Why? So that you can run ads beside those things that they're posting. That's the whole point. That's how you make money. So when you decide to censor a story that's not in the best interest of the company from a profit perspective because the government told you to do that, again, that makes the company an arm of the government. They're not acting in a way that they otherwise would be acting without government influence. And the government is not supposed to censor people's speech. That's why we have the First Amendment. But the government is getting around that by basically pressuring big tech and private corporations to censor speech. It's one thing if these private corporations were doing it on their own, in which I would say, yeah, I mean, they're a private platform. They can determine who they want on their platform and who they don't want on their platform. And if we live in a world where they didn't have outside influences like the government and a big liberal media complex pressuring these companies to censor speech they don't like, you wouldn't have as much censorship from these big tech companies because that doesn't align with the profit motive. Right? What aligns with the profit motive is getting as many views and eyeballs on the platform as possible. You would see a lot less censorship if you didn't have the mainstream liberal media and the Democrat Party pressuring these big tech companies to censor people's speech. And then Mark Zuckerberg, he has the nerve to call the FBI a legitimate institution, which, by the way, it really blows my mind. The mainstream liberal media and the left, who have been vehemently anti-law enforcement, now thinks that it is a crime to criticize the FBI and say that, hey, they might be an illegitimate institution, right? But they have nothing to say about leftists saying that the Supreme Court is an illegitimate institution, in which I would say, is the FBI in the Constitution, right? The FBI is not in the Constitution, right? The FBI is a bureaucratic government institution established under the executive branch. It's not in the Constitution. The Supreme Court is actually in the Constitution. So what's worse, saying, hey, we should abolish the FBI or we should abolish the Supreme Court, right? Again, I wish the left-wing media got as upset at the leftists saying, let's abolish something that is established in the Constitution as they did about the right saying, let's abolish the FBI, right? Again, it really blows my mind. But the FBI was wrong. Obviously, they was wrong, okay, about the Hunter Biden story. And it is quite possible that the government essentially interfered in the 2020 election and affected the outcome of the 2020 election by pressuring big tech to censor the Hunter Biden story. Now, do I know that for sure? No. But I think it's a lot more likely that censoring the Hunter Biden story had an outcome on the affected election in 2020 than Russia running some Facebook ads had on the outcome of the election in 2016. Okay, which again, Democrats swore up and down that, you know, Russia helped rig that election in 2016, which was 100% free and fair, right? So again, the moral of the story here, guys, is that this is why censorship is just ridiculous, especially coming from big tech, because they're not the arbiters of truth. Even Mark Zuckerberg knows they're not arbiters of truth. That's why he's like, well, we had to get third-party fact-checking institutions because we don't want to determine what's true and what's not. But at the same time, you're still doing that because the third-party fact-checkers are nothing but left-wing activists, right? They're basically arms of the Democrat Party as well, too. So you are trying to control what is deemed to be true and what's not true. Because otherwise, if you wasn't, you wouldn't have any fact checkers at all. You would let people post, and you don't need a fact check. You don't need any type of thing to give more context to what people are posting, what people are saying. You let people read whatever content is being posted and decide whether or not they want to accept it as truth, whether they want to research it more. You let the battle of ideas play out. That's what you do if you're not trying to determine what is true and what's not true. But we all know, again, that is what they're trying to do. They're trying to control speech. They're trying to control speech. And the worst part about it, in their attempt to control speech because they want to determine what is true and what's not true, they're not even good at it. Obviously, they got the Hunter Biden story wrong. But look at what happened during the pandemic. Look at all the people who were censored, erased from the internet because they made certain claims about masks or they made certain claims about the vaccine. Now, all of a sudden, you got big tech platforms that are rolling back their policy saying, hey, you guys can say that we destroyed people's livelihoods over just a year ago. You can say it now because we were wrong. But hey, it's my bad, right? My bad for destroying your life. My bad for taking away your money. My bad for taking away your platform. My bad, right? We were just trying to, determine what was the truth. We were trying to protect people. Again, you were wrong the whole time. No consequences whatsoever. No consequences for it. Nobody's going to get fired. Nobody's going to lose their livelihoods because they ruined somebody else's. Right? Again, this is the world we live in. These people don't care about the truth. They care about the narrative. Because if they care about the truth, they would let the battle of ideas play out and they would step back and just, hey, the truth will prevail like it always does. Regardless of the censorship, the truth will prevail. And that's what happened, right? With Hunter Biden, that's what happened with the pandemic. It happens every single time. So, like I said, man, if you need proof that, big tech and the government are working hand to hand together to censor people, to censor speech they don't like for political purposes, look no further than what Mark Zuckerberg, the CEO of Facebook, just admitted. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.